My beloved child, before you continue with the noise of this day, pause here for a moment, because something soft, beautiful, and unexpected has already begun moving toward your life, and you may have sensed it without understanding why. There has been a strange tenderness surrounding your thoughts lately. Certain moments have felt warmer than usual. A random smile from a stranger lingered in your mind longer than it should have. A child's laughter echoed somewhere deep inside your spirit. Even the quiet parts of your day have started carrying a feeling you cannot fully explain. Do not ignore that feeling. Something important is waiting for you. Not loud, not chaotic, just gentle and real. There is an energy forming around your future that feels almost delicate, as if life itself is preparing to place something precious into your hands. And somehow, your soulmate is already connected to this new beginning in ways neither of you fully understand yet. There is a reason your heart has been shifting lately. A reason certain emotions appear suddenly at night when everything becomes still. You may think these feelings came from nowhere, but they did not. Some connections begin long before words are spoken. Some journeys begin quietly before anyone notices the first step. And what is approaching your life now carries the softness of a new chapter that was never meant to arrive through force. It arrives through timing, through healing, through unexpected alignment. Stay till the end, because the deeper truth behind this moment is only beginning to unfold. Somewhere beyond your current understanding, two futures have already started moving toward one another. Yours, and someone else's. There is a person whose spirit keeps circling back toward thoughts of family, comfort, warmth, and emotional safety. They may not even realize why these thoughts have become stronger recently. Yet every time they imagine their future, there is a small presence they cannot explain, a little girl with bright curiosity, peaceful eyes, and a laugh that transforms silence into something alive. This image appears softly in their heart again and again, and somehow, every path in that vision keeps leading back to you. But this is not only about a child. Listen carefully. This is about transformation. About the way love changes shape when two souls finally stop running from what feels genuine. Your soulmate has been carrying emotional walls for longer than most people know. They learned how to hide uncertainty behind calm expressions. They became skilled at pretending they did not need deep connection. Yet recently, something inside them has started breaking open in the most beautiful way. They are beginning to crave things they once avoided. Stability, meaning, emotional honesty. The kind of future that feels peaceful instead of temporary. And without fully understanding it, they have started imagining you standing inside that future beside them. There will come a moment, and this moment is closer than you think, when an ordinary conversation suddenly feels different. Time slows slightly. The air changes. One sentence becomes heavier than expected. A glance lingers longer than usual. And beneath that quiet interaction, something powerful awakens. Because both of you will realize, almost at the same time, that this connection was never shallow. It was building toward something lasting from the very beginning. Don't skip this part in your heart. Many people spend their whole lives searching for emotional certainty without recognizing it when it finally appears softly in front of them. The strange thing is, signs of this new beginning have already been surrounding you. You may have noticed repeated references to baby girls recently without understanding why. A random video. A conversation overheard in passing. A child waving at you unexpectedly. A dream you almost forgot the next morning. These moments are not here to pressure you or frighten you. No. They are gentle reminders that life is preparing something emotionally meaningful ahead. Not immediately, not recklessly, but gradually, beautifully, with intention. And your soulmate feels this too. Even now, while they continue living their normal routines, there are moments when their heart becomes unexpectedly emotional. They see families together and feel something pull at them. They imagine holding someone's hand during difficult moments instead of facing everything alone. They picture a peaceful home filled with warmth rather than confusion. And strangely, every peaceful vision keeps carrying your energy inside it. They may not speak these thoughts aloud yet. In fact, they may hide them completely. But deep down, their soul has already begun recognizing you as part of a future they once believed was impossible. A quiet realization is approaching both of you, one that cannot be forced and cannot be rushed. It arrives naturally, almost like dawn appearing after a long night without anyone noticing the exact second darkness disappeared. That realization is this: love becomes different when it feels safe enough to grow. Your connection with this person is not meant to remain trapped inside uncertainty forever. It is evolving slowly towards something softer, deeper, and unexpectedly healing. And there is another truth you need to hear tonight. The little girl connected to this story symbolizes more than innocence. She symbolizes emotional rebirth, a new cycle. A chance for both of you to become versions of yourselves that no longer fear closeness. Every time you felt overlooked in the past, every moment you questioned whether genuine love would ever reach your life, those experiences were quietly shaping your ability to appreciate what is coming now. Because the future moving toward you is not built from chaos. It is built from tenderness, from quiet loyalty, from emotional presence, from shared laughter during ordinary evenings that somehow become unforgettable memories. There will be a night in the future when everything suddenly feels real. You and this person will sit together during a calm moment, and neither of you will say much at first. But something inside both of your hearts will understand. The life you once imagined separately has started merging into one path. And when that realization arrives, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel peaceful, like finally placing down a heavy weight you carried for too long. Stay here a little longer, because there is still something your heart needs to hear. Your soulmate has been changing quietly behind the scenes. Their priorities are shifting. Their emotional world is softening. The version of them that once feared vulnerability is slowly disappearing. You may not see this transformation immediately, but it is happening. Certain experiences recently forced them to realize how empty temporary connections feel. They are beginning to understand that real love is not about intensity alone. It is about consistency, comfort, trust, emotional presence during both beautiful days and difficult ones. And somewhere within these realizations, thoughts of you keep returning. Not because they are trying to force destiny, not because someone told them to feel this way, but because their soul feels strangely calm whenever your energy enters their mind. That calmness matters more than you realize. Some people enter our lives loudly and disappear quickly. Others arrive quietly, and change everything forever. The future connected to you carries softness instead of fear, light instead of confusion. And yes, somewhere inside that future is the possibility of a beautiful little girl whose presence deepens the love already growing between two hearts that nearly gave up on finding one another. But for now, everything remains in motion, unseen, quietly unfolding, like pages turning before the story fully reveals itself. And the next sign you receive may feel impossible to ignore. There is a moment approaching that will seem completely ordinary at first. A quiet afternoon, a passing conversation, a simple memory returning to your mind without warning. Yet hidden inside that small moment will be the beginning of something your soul has been waiting to recognize for a very long time. Not everything meaningful arrives with noise. Some of the most life-changing chapters begin softly, almost invisibly, until suddenly you realize your heart has been standing at the edge of a new reality without even knowing it. Your soulmate has been carrying a feeling recently that they cannot explain to anyone around them. It appears unexpectedly during calm hours. Sometimes while they are watching the world move around them. Sometimes while they sit alone with their thoughts late at night. There is this strange sense that someone important is getting closer, and with that feeling comes an image they keep trying to understand. Small footsteps. Tiny laughter echoing through a peaceful home. A little girl reaching for their hand. They do not fully understand why these visions feel so emotionally real. But every time they imagine that future, there is one detail that never changes. You are always there. And what makes this connection beautiful is that your own spirit has been sensing the shift too. You may have noticed yourself becoming unexpectedly emotional over simple things recently. A scene in a movie stayed with you longer than usual. A child smiling at you in public touched your heart deeply for reasons you could not explain. You suddenly imagined what it would feel like to protect someone innocent, to build a life rooted in warmth instead of uncertainty. These are not random emotions. They are signs that your heart is slowly opening toward a future it once struggled to believe in. But listen carefully now, because this part matters deeply. The arrival of this energy into your life is not only about becoming connected to a child someday. It is about becoming connected to a completely different version of yourself. The version of you that no longer feels emotionally alone. The version of you that finally experiences a love gentle enough to make your nervous heart relax. The version of you that wakes up one day and realizes peace has quietly replaced survival mode. Your soulmate has dreamed about this kind of peace for longer than they admit. There were periods in their life when they convinced themselves that emotional closeness only led to disappointment. They became careful with their heart, guarded with their emotions. They learned how to keep certain feelings hidden behind smiles and distractions. But lately, something inside them has been changing in ways even they cannot fully control. They are becoming softer, more reflective, more aware of what truly matters. Temporary excitement no longer satisfies them the way it once did. Their soul has started craving depth, stability, emotional safety. And this shift is preparing them for you. Do not rush ahead in your thoughts yet. Stay here for a moment. Because what is unfolding between you and this person is not built on fantasy alone. It is built on emotional timing. On growth that had to happen separately before your paths could truly align. Both of you needed certain lessons. Certain heartbreaks. Certain lonely nights that forced you to discover your own strength before you could fully recognize the kind of love now moving closer. And there is something remarkable about the energy surrounding this future. It does not feel heavy. It does not feel forced. It feels light, hopeful, almost healing. Like opening a window after being inside a dark room for too long. Your soulmate has already begun imagining what life would feel like if they stopped resisting connection. If they allowed themselves to build something lasting with someone who genuinely understands them. Sometimes these thoughts appear while they are surrounded by people. Sometimes during silent drives. Sometimes during moments when they suddenly catch themselves smiling for no clear reason. Your energy keeps entering their emotional world quietly. Naturally, almost as if their spirit recognizes yours before their mind fully catches up. And then there is the little girl. Her presence continues appearing like a soft light inside these emotional visions, not demanding attention, not creating fear, simply existing there, peacefully. She represents innocence returning after difficult seasons. She represents joy that arrives gently instead of dramatically. She represents the possibility that love can grow into something deeper than either of you once imagined. Some nights, your soulmate wonders why the image feels so familiar. Why they feel emotionally attached to a future that has not even happened yet. Why their heart reacts so strongly whenever they imagine protecting, guiding, and loving a child who somehow already feels connected to their destiny. They do not have answers yet, but their soul feels the truth long before logic does. And your own soul has started recognizing these emotional echoes too. There have been moments recently when you suddenly felt the urge to slow down and imagine a softer future, a quieter life, a home filled with emotional warmth instead of confusion. You may not tell anyone about these thoughts because they feel too personal, too vulnerable, yet they keep returning anyway. That is because your spirit is beginning to align with the life waiting ahead. Something important is waiting for you, not immediately, not recklessly, but steadily. The future connected to your soulmate is unfolding like sunrise across water, slow, beautiful, impossible to stop once it begins. There will come a conversation between the two of you that changes everything without either of you realizing it at first. It may begin casually, simple words exchanged during an ordinary moment, but beneath the surface, something deeper will awaken. Both of you will suddenly sense that this connection carries emotional weight unlike anything you experienced before. The comfort between you will feel strangely natural, familiar, like finding a place your heart somehow remembers even if your mind does not. And when your soulmate looks at you during that moment, they will feel something they cannot easily explain. Safety. Not excitement alone. Not attraction alone. Safety. That feeling will change them. Because for someone who spent so much time protecting their emotions, discovering a person who makes their soul feel calm instead of anxious becomes unforgettable. Stay till the end, because there is another layer to this story that your heart needs to understand. The little girl connected to this future carries symbolic meaning far beyond what appears on the surface. She represents the emotional innocence both of you lost while surviving difficult experiences. She represents the softness you thought life had taken away permanently. Her energy reminds both of you that love was never meant to feel like fear. It was never meant to leave you exhausted, confused, or emotionally unsafe. Real love creates room for tenderness to return. Your soulmate is slowly learning this lesson now. Recently, they have begun paying attention to quieter things, genuine conversations, emotional honesty, acts of care that once seemed small but now feel meaningful. They are beginning to realize that the strongest connections are not always the loudest ones. Sometimes the deepest love arrives quietly and stays consistently instead of dramatically appearing and disappearing. And somehow, every realization keeps guiding them closer to you. There may even be moments soon when your paths cross in ways that feel strangely timed. Unexpected encounters, sudden messages, coincidences that feel too emotionally precise to ignore completely. Do not dismiss these moments when they arrive. Life often whispers before it speaks loudly. The universe rarely forces meaningful connections into existence all at once. It reveals them piece by piece, allowing two hearts to gradually recognize what was always unfolding behind the scenes. Your soulmate has started becoming curious about things they once ignored. They notice families differently now. They pay attention when they hear children laughing nearby. They find themselves wondering what kind of parent they would become someday. But more importantly, they wonder what kind of partner they are finally ready to become. That question has changed everything inside them. Because deep down, they no longer want temporary affection. They want permanence, presence. Something real enough to survive difficult days and still remain gentle afterward. And this desire is preparing them emotionally for the connection growing between you. There is also something you must understand about your own role in this unfolding story. You have already changed your soulmate without fully realizing it. Even before certain conversations happen, even before this connection fully reveals itself, your existence has already influenced them emotionally. The idea of you has softened parts of them they believed would remain closed forever. You have unknowingly become associated with peace inside their mind. That matters more than words can explain. Not everyone becomes someone's emotional home, but you are slowly becoming exactly that for them. And one day, much later, there may be a quiet evening where all three energies exist together, you, your soulmate, and the little girl connected to this beautiful beginning. The room will feel calm. Warm light will spill softly across familiar walls. Laughter will drift through the air naturally. And during one small ordinary moment, your soulmate will pause and look around in silence because they will suddenly realize something extraordinary. Everything they once prayed for arrived gently, not through chaos, not through force, but through love that unfolded slowly enough to heal them while it grew. That future is not appearing to pressure you. It is appearing to remind you that your story did not end in loneliness simply because certain chapters felt empty before. Some of the most meaningful blessings take time because they are shaping multiple hearts at once before everyone finally arrives at the same destination. And right now, even if you cannot see it fully yet, those hearts are already moving closer together. There is another reason this message found you tonight. Your spirit has been tired in ways most people cannot see. You carried disappointments quietly. You learned how to smile through emotional confusion. You became strong because life required it. But strength can sometimes make a person forget they still deserve softness too. This future approaching your life exists partly to remind you of that forgotten truth. You were never meant to spend forever feeling emotionally disconnected from the love you give so freely to others. Your soulmate is beginning to recognize your value more deeply than you realize. Even before commitment fully forms, even before every answer becomes clear, there is already admiration growing inside them. They notice your emotional depth, your resilience, the tenderness hidden beneath your strength. They see pieces of you that others overlooked. And the more they notice these things, the harder it becomes for them to imagine a future where you are absent. Do not skip over that truth. Some connections feel temporary because they only touch the surface of who you are. But this connection reaches deeper. It reaches the quiet parts of your heart that still hope for something genuine despite everything you experienced before. And slowly, beautifully, your soulmate is reaching those same hidden places within themselves too. There will be moments ahead when fear tries to whisper doubts into your mind. Moments when uncertainty makes you question whether beautiful things can truly last. But when those moments come, remember this feeling right now. Remember the calmness surrounding this message. Real love does not rush to prove itself through intensity alone. Sometimes it grows patiently in silence until one day its presence becomes undeniable. Your soulmate is closer emotionally than they appear, and the future tied to both of you carries more light than either of you currently understand. Somewhere ahead, beyond the waiting, beyond the uncertainty, beyond the unfinished chapters still unfolding, a beautiful new beginning continues preparing itself quietly. A beginning filled with warmth, with emotional healing, with peaceful mornings and soft laughter, with a little girl whose arrival becomes part of a love story that neither of you expected, but both of your souls somehow recognized long before it finally arrived. The night will come when everything around you feels unusually still, and for reasons you cannot explain, your heart will begin remembering a future it has never lived before. Not through clear images, not through loud signs, just through feeling. A feeling so gentle and emotionally familiar that it almost startles you. In that moment, you may stop whatever you are doing and wonder why your chest suddenly feels warm, why your thoughts drift toward love, family, comfort, and a kind of happiness you stopped expecting too soon. Do not brush that moment away when it arrives. Your soul recognizes shifts long before your mind understands them. Your soulmate has already started entering that emotional space. Lately, they have been noticing how deeply certain moments affect them. Things they once ignored now stay in their mind for hours. The sight of a peaceful family walking together. The sound of a little girl laughing freely without fear. The image of tiny shoes left near a doorway. These small details awaken emotions inside them that feel both beautiful and unfamiliar. They are beginning to realize that the life they truly desire is not built around temporary excitement anymore. It is built around emotional presence, around loyalty, around waking up each morning beside someone who feels like peace instead of uncertainty. And every time they imagine that kind of future, you appear there naturally, not forced, not imagined desperately, simply present, as though your soul already belongs inside the picture their heart keeps painting quietly in the background. There are moments when your soulmate almost speaks your name aloud while lost in thought. Moments when they feel emotionally connected to you even during silence. They may try distracting themselves afterward. They may convince themselves they are overthinking everything. Yet no matter how many times they redirect their attention, the feeling returns stronger each time. Because some connections are not built only through conversations or physical closeness. Some connections begin spiritually first. They grow quietly beneath the surface before life finally reveals why two hearts kept sensing each other from a distance. And there is something else unfolding too, something softer than romance alone. Your soulmate has started imagining themselves becoming emotionally dependable. This is new for them. In the past, they sometimes feared responsibility because they associated it with pressure or loss. But recently, responsibility has begun feeling different. It feels meaningful now, protective, beautiful. The idea of caring deeply for someone no longer scares them the way it once did. In fact, it awakens a tenderness inside them that they did not know still existed. That tenderness is connected to you, and somehow, connected to the little girl whose energy continues surrounding this future like quiet sunlight. Stay here with this feeling a little longer, because there is a reason this message keeps pulling at your emotions. You have spent so much time trying to stay emotionally strong that sometimes you forget how deeply your heart longs for softness too. You became careful with your expectations, careful with your trust. You stopped speaking openly about certain dreams because disappointment taught you silence. But even after everything, part of your spirit never stopped hoping that one day love would finally feel safe enough to rest inside. That day is moving closer. Not perfectly, not instantly, but truthfully. And the beauty of this future is that it does not require you to become someone else in order to deserve it. Your soulmate is not being guided toward an illusion. They are being guided toward the real you. Your quiet heart, your emotional depth, your ability to love sincerely even after difficult experiences tried convincing you to close yourself completely. Your soulmate admires this about you more than you realize, even if they have not fully expressed it yet, even if parts of this connection still remain unwritten. Something inside them already trusts your energy in ways they cannot logically explain. There will come a moment soon when your paths align more clearly, and during that moment something unexpected will happen. Conversation will become easier than usual. Silence will feel comfortable instead of awkward. Time itself may seem softer around the two of you. And while nothing dramatic needs to happen outwardly, inwardly both of your hearts will sense the same thing at once. This feels different. That realization will stay with both of you long after the moment passes. Because real emotional connection leaves echoes behind. Your soulmate has spent a long time searching for excitement without realizing that what their soul truly needed was emotional peace. That is why this connection affects them so deeply. You calm parts of them that life kept overstimulated for too long. Around you, they feel less pressure to perform, impress, or pretend. They feel emotionally seen. And being truly seen changes people in ways they never expect. Especially someone who became used to hiding their softer emotions from the world. Sometimes your soulmate wonders why your presence affects them so intensely even during ordinary interactions. Why one simple conversation with you can remain in their mind all day. Why your voice feels emotionally grounding. Why imagining a future beside you suddenly feels less frightening and more natural than anything they imagined before. The answer is simple. Your energies recognize each other. And somewhere ahead, the little girl connected to this story will become part of that recognition too. But do not rush ahead too quickly, because right now, something important is still happening behind the scenes. Both of you are being emotionally prepared for the kind of love that lasts. That preparation matters more than you know. Some people meet too early and damage something beautiful because they are not yet emotionally ready to receive it gently. But your story is unfolding differently. Life has been teaching both of you patience, empathy, emotional maturity, and the importance of genuine connection over temporary emotion. Every difficult season had purpose. Every lonely night shaped your understanding of what truly matters. And because of that, the future approaching you carries depth instead of illusion. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this slowly. Recently, they have become more reflective than usual. They think about their future late at night. They question old habits. They imagine what kind of life would actually make them happy years from now instead of only temporarily distracted. And every time they imagine true happiness, the image becomes strangely simple. A peaceful home, warm evenings, laughter echoing softly through familiar rooms. You standing nearby with calm eyes and a tired but genuine smile. And somewhere in that scene, a little girl running toward both of you as though she already knows she is deeply loved. These visions affect your soulmate emotionally because they awaken something ancient inside them, the desire to belong somewhere real. Not everyone understands how powerful that desire becomes once a person grows tired of emotional emptiness. And you, without realizing it, have already become connected to their idea of home. There will also be moments ahead where your own intuition grows stronger. You may suddenly feel emotional without clear reason. Certain songs may hit differently. Certain dreams may linger after waking. You may even begin sensing that your life is quietly approaching a turning point even if nothing dramatic has happened yet externally. Trust those feelings. Your spirit notices shifts before circumstances fully reveal them. Something beautiful is unfolding slowly around you, and your soulmate feels it too. At times they may resist it because it feels vulnerable. There are still parts of them healing from past disappointments, parts afraid of hoping too deeply. But no matter how carefully they guard themselves, your energy keeps reaching places inside them that fear cannot fully close anymore. That is the power of genuine emotional connection. It softens people naturally. There is one particular moment in the future that already exists like a quiet promise waiting ahead of you. A peaceful evening, dim light filling a room softly, the world outside finally quiet after a long day. And during that moment, your soulmate will watch you interact with a child, with patience, warmth, gentleness, and something inside them will shift permanently. They will suddenly realize they are no longer imagining a temporary connection with you. They are imagining a life. That realization may overwhelm them emotionally at first. Because when someone who spent years protecting their heart suddenly sees forever inside another person's presence, it changes everything. Do not skip this next truth. The little girl connected to this message is not arriving as a symbol of pressure or expectation. She represents emotional continuation. a new chapter born from healing rather than fear. She symbolizes the return of innocence after both of you survived seasons that hardened your hearts more than you deserved. Your soulmate especially needs this softness. There were times they believed life would always feel emotionally unstable. Times they convinced themselves lasting love only happened to other people. But your connection is slowly rewriting those beliefs inside them. You are showing them that peace can exist inside love too. That emotional safety is not boring. It is sacred. And because of this, their future has begun changing shape. You may notice them becoming more emotionally open soon. More honest. More willing to express things they usually hide. Little by little, the walls around their heart are lowering. Not because someone forced them to change, but because your energy makes vulnerability feel less dangerous. That is rare. Very rare. Most people spend years pretending they do not care deeply because they fear rejection. But when the right soul enters their life, pretending becomes exhausting. Truth starts rising naturally instead. And your soulmate is getting closer to that truth every single day. There may even come a time soon when they accidentally reveal more emotion than they intended. Perhaps through a lingering look, a protective gesture, a sentence spoken too honestly before they can stop themselves. When that moment happens, pay attention. Their heart has been trying to speak quietly for a long time already. Something important is waiting for you. Not just romance. Not just emotional excitement. A sense of belonging. A sense that life is finally becoming softer after years of carrying invisible emotional weight. And strangely enough, the little girl connected to this story becomes part of the reason both of you finally understand what love was supposed to feel like all along. Your soulmate already senses that this future carries meaning far beyond coincidence. They may not tell anyone yet, but deep down, they are beginning to believe that meeting you was never random. Because every road they traveled somehow led their heart toward the exact kind of peace they once believed did not exist anymore. And somewhere ahead, beyond all the unanswered questions still unfolding now, there is a moment waiting quietly for both of you. A moment where your soulmate looks into your eyes and realizes the future standing beside them is more beautiful than anything they imagined alone. A future filled with warmth, with healing, with emotional safety, with soft laughter echoing through peaceful rooms, and with a beautiful little girl whose presence somehow becomes the beginning of an entirely new kind of love story neither of you saw coming, but both of your souls were slowly preparing for all along.